What's up, everyone? My name is Bobby, aka Lumberjack Smack, and today we're playing Creature in the Well. This game came out on September 6th from Flight School Studios. It's available on the Xbox One, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. Today's quick look is going to be played on a Nintendo Switch. This game's available for $19.99. You can also download it and play it with your Xbox Game Pass subscription. I'm so thrilled to tell you about this game. It's something I've had my eye on for a while. The easiest way I can pitch it, it is a dungeon crawler with swords and pinball mixed into it. It is a fantastic, weird, fun game. It's got amazing art, amazing sound. The mechanics are wonderful. I can't wait to just hop in here and show it to you. So today, we're going to be playing on one of my save states. As you can see, when you walk up, you can load up your different ones. So I'm about 25% into the game here. Still figuring out a few things, some of the mechanics, finding my style with it. So I thought I'd show you a little bit about the world building, kind of the game loop that you have, some of the inventory systems, and of course the combat mechanics. So when we hop into it, I'm trying to remember where I was loaded up at. You can see that I have no health. So immediately after dying, you're thrown back out here into your overworld or your world hub. One of the things I noticed right away about this is just how gorgeous the color palette is. I love the style so much. It looks like a Sal Bass painting. There's a game that came out earlier this year called Ape Out that had a very similar kind of throwback style to it. So I haven't opened up everything in this area quite yet, but there's a few areas you can walk into. One of which is this doorway over here. You come into this room, and I think I was able to get some item or inventory item earlier, but nothing too much going on in these rooms at the start. But there is a person you can talk to up here, and this transfer coil is an upgrade to your core. So as you can see, there's a few things that you're going to need. You're going to need an old core, and you're also going to need some of your power, and I'll get into a little bit about how you get that soon. I have not upgraded this yet, so let's go ahead and upgrade this coil. I am honestly at a loss here. I have not even seen this open up yet. I can't remember unlocking it. So as you progress into the dungeons, you'll get some of these items. I do remember getting an old core. I did not know this is where I took it to upgrade it. So for those of you who are tuning in, congratulations, we figured it out. But this individual, Danielle, is in the kitchen, basically asking you to go and get a few parts, more or less a side quest. There is an item you can take. So I've got this old core now from them, and I can upgrade this to level 3 as I have the power to do so. So let's go ahead and upgrade again, and now we're going to be on that core level 3. All right, so let me walk you through a little bit about how I got some of these items and what they do. Sorry to jump ahead there. I didn't anticipate that to be the case. So most of the game takes place in what I can assume we're going to be referring to as the well. There's a factory. The setting for this world is there's this giant sandstorm that's came through. Nobody's coming outside because of it. Things seem to be pretty terrible. You are a bot that became alive or aware at the beginning of the game. It appears that you've done this a few times in your history, or maybe people that came before you have done something similar. So this is the main area of the well, or this is going to be kind of your home base where you go out into the different areas of it. You have your friend Roger T. Frog over here, who seems to be a relative of the folks who started up this factory or well. You can get some really cool lore and insight from Roger after each loop of the game. But one of the things that tripped me up at the beginning is the game doesn't do a whole lot of hand-holding when it throws you into it. After you die the first time, you're thrown back out into town. I'm sure you'll see that a few times, as I'm not very good at this game yet. I didn't know how to get health. There's nothing really that clearly states it. I just so happened to misstep over into this pool here, and as you step into it, you'll see that this is how you actually recharge your health. There'll be a few of these pools that you can come across later on in the game. They're not very obvious, but this is the area that you will decide on what you're going to be doing next. So you can see that I've got these cores lit up, and there's the big entryway ahead of us here. There's two mechanics in this game. You've got, on the Switch, the Y button is going to be your charge blade, and then the X is going to be, I guess, your attack item, you can go in here. So you have your strike tools, which I currently have this baseball bat equipped. I have not seen anything outside of maybe speed and sound that happens with it for the strike tools. The other mechanic that you're going to have is your charge tools, and these are what you're going to use to collect, I guess, like, let's call them beams or balls or anything like that you're used to from pinball. This is how you kind of collect them, get them where you need to. You can change the direction, and we're going to get into what that looks like here in a moment. You also have capes, which seem to be mostly cosmetic. I have not seen anything that would give me any sort of like buff at any time. And this is the core that we just upgraded 2 times back with Daniel. It looks like there's going to be some other elements for the core that we can unlock further. Again, 25% of the game. Haven't really unlocked too much with it. This is your gear tab. This is what you open up immediately whenever you go into your inventory. You do have a map. Very simple. Incomplete, complete, and healing. As you can see right now, I don't have a whole lot in this particular instance loaded up. I just opened up the 3rd core, and that's what we're going to be going into today. It's called the Archives. As far as the temple goes, this is going to be things that gives you insight to what you've done so far, maybe areas that I haven't fully unlocked. So in the power reserves, I can go back. It looks like there's one more segment that I could find, one more path or branch of that dungeon that I can get into. The lockdown systems I just completed. I didn't get all the areas there as well, so I could go back and do it, but you've got, it looks to be 8 layers to this well or factory or temple as they're calling it here. And then your settings are pretty straightforward. Control vibration, aim smoothing, controller configuration, etc. Stats, let's see what that shows. Oh, time played. Okay, so you can see that I have not been super successful here, but some fun stuff to grab there. So over here you've got 2 balls, and you've got these cores that branch out over on each side. So this is lockdown systems. They give you a breakdown of what that is. There's some really cool tooltips that pop up in the game. I do like the style quite a bit of how they bring those in. And then the power reserves. And the one that I have loaded up, as I mentioned, is the archives. So I've got these other 2 that I can open up here. And then the idea is after you do that, you'll be able to come back and apply power. So I need to get these reacquired core systems up and running so we can activate them and then get more of these cores going. So as I was talking about earlier, you've got your strike tool and your charge tools shown here. Charge tool comes out, strike tool hits the other way. So if I wanted to grab this, I can keep holding it down, and you're seeing as I'm acquiring that charge, the damage being done. So now I have a direction that I can use to send these off. And I can just let go. So if I wanted to send them that direction and let go, I can move away, and they're automatically going to go after a delay. I can also grab them and have them in the direction I want. As they're paused, I can then strike them. And now what I've done is I've moved back over to the power reserve. So if you wanted to navigate this particular area, all you need to do is just grab one of these balls and then hit it into the area that you want to. Your warp gate changes. I don't know if that's the proper term, but we're going to call it a warp gate. And you'll be able to go through that. One of the things I have noticed as we go into the archives here, each one of these areas looks similar, but different color palettes are being used, which is fine. I think that the flow works pretty good. I don't know if it's procedural generated or not. I don't think that's the case. But they're essentially going to be multiple doors that we're going to be going through here that you'll need to acquire power and then lock out or unlock. I'm sorry. So this particular part right here, as you get near the boss of each area, you can unlock a warp gate. So if you do die, you can just come right through here and go right back to that last point. Anytime you die, you are going to be taken back outside of the building. So that is one of the things that's been a bit of a frustration. It kind of has that roguelite sense where you have to go make these runs. I don't know. I wouldn't call it a rogue game by any means. It is a dungeon crawler, but your start point after death is a bit away from the last objective. So in this particular area, I've already unlocked that door so we can go right through it. But if I needed to get more power for unlocking further doors, you can do so here. So this is an area that you walk into. There's going to be these plates on the floor that I'm walking over right now. Anytime you see one of these, that indicates that you need to unlock something further to bring those up. And as a pinball inspired game, there's going to be multiple like ricocheting elements that come into it. At any point in time, like you can start to get things popping off without you really intending to, just based off of you either absorbing hits coming into you or initiating those. So the combat mechanic in here, nothing's going to, like, you cannot hit anything, like any creature, with your charge or your strike blades. Like, it just doesn't do damage. All damage is done by initiating a pinball-like strike. These are turrets that are going to fire back at me whatever I hit at them, so you need to be prepared to do quick back and forth with them. It reminds me a lot of fighting Ganondorf in Breath of the Wild. Not sorry, Breath of the Wild, but Ocarina of Time. So without further ado, let's just grab one of these. As you can see, I'm charging it. I can then strike it. It goes back, and then hit it towards me. So we can continue to do this. And what I want to do is figure out how to trigger those plates on the floor to come up. So I've gotten rid of that particular turret or pinball bumper, however you want to call it. Those things do hurt quite a bit if you get hit, so you want to be quick to grab it, unlike myself. And then this last one opens up these essential floor lasers, and as you time this out right, you do have a dodge that you can use. It is just the B button to move through. But as I close those all out, this center part here would be a power core, but since I've already opened this up, it'll give you essentially the power needed to unlock the door. As you play through the game, you're going to acquire a lot more. Early in the game, it's really important to slow down and go through all these to get the power you needed, because to progress through these temple dungeons, you're going to have it. But as I mentioned, this door was already unlocked, so this new particular area, this top-down view is going to show you a bit of it. So I could come right in here and just add the power. I have it. So for the sake of this, I could just unlock that door. I don't even need to initiate this if I didn't want to. But again, if you're somebody who's just looking for more action, or if you wanted to make up that power you just used, feel free to play through it. For the sake of progression here, I'll move into the next room. And this is all new area I haven't been into at this point in time. So I've got 3 doorways, a couple balls I can charge up. If I come over to this side, again, it's going to say, hey, I need 2,000 power. That's kind of your generic cost to get in. It'll auto-save every time you unlock one. So I'll just unlock all these doors. And as you can see in the map in the bottom right-hand menu, it is giving us those pathways as we open them. And you can see that there's 2 dots that we can explore further over here on the left. So as we come down, you get some really good action. Again, I just love how they do the camera movements and this almost like contained world building. It just looks so good. I'm a sucker for that really like kind of dirty old school art style. It's got some cyberpunk vibes to it also, which I really appreciate. So in this room, it looks like we need to pop this guy up. Got 2 of those turret. I will grab these 2 and let's just get into it. So a lot of the stuff leading up into the battles that I've encountered is a bit more tame. It will, in fact, get a lot more robust. And as you can see, we're unlocking a lot more. You start to get a lot of crazy things. We now got a turret shooting at us on top of this. And it will continue to be a pain. But as we progress forward, we can unlock and go through. I really haven't had an area where I'm like, man, this is going to really be a struggle. Like, I've fought 2 bosses so far, or boss battles with the creature. A continual thorn in your side in the game, and it's not been anything that I have felt was overly complex. A lot of the levels are going to be this, where you're just trying to build up your power so you can go and progress further. These bonus rooms are awesome. They're absolutely worth unlocking, because you make back quite a bit in doing so. So this is a non-threatening room. This is just literally you coming in here, getting some power. There's not a whole lot further you can go after this. Like, this is really the gist of it. So now we've completed this wing of the map. If I wanted to bring that up further, I can show you. So we were down in the bottom left-hand corner. We'll go back over. And there's a branching path of 3 to the right. We'll hit that up. And we'll just kind of do the same thing till we get to the very end up there. And my goal is to show you a boss encounter and probably wrap up this quick look there. If there's more information you want about this game, you can email me. It's bobby@lumberjacksmack.com. but I think this game's really neat. I'm enjoying the mystery, the lore quite a bit. I want to know what the hell happened with this creature and why is he still such a pain. And I was also, like, I'm a big pinball fan too. Like, there's a few pinball halls here in my hometown, and I find them to be a really great time. I enjoy this idea of mixing genres, kind of a bender here, so to speak, of things. I like dungeon crawlers quite a bit. I like the idea of upgrading and RPG elements there. The combat, like, I find myself at times wanting a little bit more. Like, I want to be able to hit things with my sword. I don't know if that's just muscle memory. But then I find myself, like letting go of what I knew or what I thought I wanted and really enjoying what they've created here. So we're on that segment now where we have those three dots to progress through. This again is going to be a further door. We got those 4 plates. We know that we're going to get into some action with those. Probably some of those cross beams happening. And this is a timed room, so as you can see, I'll get back into it. So let me kind of wait for this to reset. When I put down this particular piece over here, it's going to initiate these walls to come up. These walls have to be dealt with in a few seconds, or the whole room resets. I'm still getting the aiming down consistently, but one of the things here is just based off of the angles, you can really get it started pretty good. So if I grab these and I just start to come over and move up to this spot, you'll notice that I have that where I can start to hit those and go into that rhythm. I did screw up and miss. We'll try it again. So now if I hit it, it should repeat. That brings up the core. And now this is what I was talking about, how the center core is going to give you the points needed to essentially go into it. There are secret paths you can get. That's why I would recommend exploring the rooms as much as possible. So if we branch out over here, we'll see where this takes us up to. So in these rooms, I have found different bots. And again, you usually get a banner, and then there's some information about this particular bot. This is where we get those old cores that we can upgrade. So at this point in time, when we die, we can go talk to Danielle, and I can upgrade that. The cape is different now. I have the archive cape on. So I've got the archives banner. I've got the reserves banner. This was the blacksmith's rag. That's what Danielle gave you. And now we have that old core here that we can use to do a further upgrade to our bot core here. These are going to allow us to take on more of the orbs and transfer more power into those orbs that you've been seeing me charge up. So that's one of the benefits of upgrading those cores. I don't know if it'll unlock further abilities. Again, I think that they've really done a good job of simplifying what you should be going after and doing. So we'll unlock this and see what is ahead. I don't think that these are procedurally generated the more I'm playing through it, because I think each dungeon is a little samey in the fact that you're going to have some of these areas that you're used to. That just might be like, hey, this is a left turn versus a right turn. But what I'm seeing so far is a lot of the same stuff. So maybe, I don't know, it might be generated. I'll try and throw that into the comments here in the video to let you know if I screwed up or goofed here. Or if you know, you can correct me. I would like the feedback there. So we're back up to the 130, I'm sorry, 1,000 power that we had before unlocking everything in it. So I was able to get a core. I got us back to that point of being charged up that I was at started, and I feel comfortable moving back down the actual progression here of the temple. So back in this main little hub for the next progression. Again, you get some really good old school pinball ricocheting sounds when you do this. I love how the music changes and goes when you're in combat. I like just the ambience that they have built with it. Some pretty cool world building. I'd like to know a little bit more about what's happening here, or what led to it, as I mentioned. Things definitely don't seem great, and I like the determination and the hero elements that we're playing here. And I don't think that there's any right or wrong method. As you saw, like, we're in the archives right now. There's definitely I could approach this much different than what maybe you have or would. I don't think it really matters, at least at this stage in the game. They give you the option to go into one at the beginning, and once you unlock that, you then can get a few more of these particular temple paths opened up. That I cannot stress enough, like the importance of using dodge, especially in this case where we've got these repeated bombs going off on us. And I'm trying really hard not to die right now. Oh my goodness. My health. Oh boy, there we go. Okay, so you're going to see what I was mentioning earlier with the frustrations of starting over. So the creature just grabs you, which is such an awesome death animation. I'm glad we got to it. You are thrown out of the well, and you can come over here and talk to him. And he or she is just so much of a jerk. But I love the art of, as you're progressing through the temple, the creature's eyes will pop up, and they're just like always talking trash to you. I think it's a really good balance of humor that they've incorporated here. So we're back out into the overworld. Since we got thrown out and died, I could go and upgrade my core. Since we have that, I should have enough power to do all of it. I'm expecting a town where I can go in and shop and buy things, and I have a feeling that will continue to upgrade as we progress in the game. I'm still very early on and learning my way through it, but we are now up to level 4, and Danielle is just basically saying, like, bring more cores in. So we'll go back in. We'll have to heal. That's the loop, of course, and then we can progress pretty quickly through that area now that we have unlocked and we know where we were at. So I don't have to explore as much. I don't have to grind out for any power. I can go right into where we were. Grab your healing pond. Get the goods. And head back in. So it's charming. It's got a lot of fun. I do like the loop quite a bit. It seems to be leading to something much bigger. The boss fights have increased pretty rapidly as far as complexities go, and I don't know if that was because I went in the wrong order, or if that was just the intention of flight school. But I think that does pay off. Like, I'm not learning any new skill sets really in between what I accomplished in the prior run or what I'm doing in this run. So I don't know if it's like one of those things like in Zelda where it's like, hey, you need this particular item to advance the quest here. Make sure that you have the boomerang equipped if you want to do these things. But I haven't had a thing where it's like, you need this particular charge sword, or you need to have this strike item to progress past this point. All pretty much what we would expect. So another branching path. I will go ahead and unlock all this. Go and check it out. See if we get another one of those cores or any other fun items. And I think it does a pretty cool job of like bringing in the exploration aspects to a dungeon. Like I like that vibe quite a bit. It's not what I would consider like a traditional dungeon by any sense, but it's also it's got that same risk reward. Like, hey, if you go off path, like there's a higher risk here of what you might encounter, but you could end up getting some cool stuff like we did with those old cores. And now this is going to be a different version of that time puzzle. But oh no. Oh no, I almost had it. I think that the game does a pretty good job of introducing new concepts like this. I wish I was a bit more consistent with my ability to aim. Or, actually be good at this. So we'll try it again. Alright, let me reset. Oh my god. We're gonna get it, I promise. Maybe being a little bit closer will help me out, or just actually figuring out the aiming mechanics a little bit more consistently. There we go. All right. That was not graceful at all, but at the end of the day, we got through it, and we got another secret path. So I wonder if there'll be another core or a potential banner. Those seem to be fun things to get. Ooh, a focus hammer? Alright, let's take a look at that. Attack can be held down to provide focus almost if time has slowed. Alright, I can get behind that. So now that's going to be a strike tool. So it looks like I got the charge blade and the strike hammer, or the focus hammer, that go together. Ooh, that's cool. So if I'm holding that down, I get a nice little slow to action mechanic that goes with it. I'll be curious to see how that is incorporated in the actual gameplay here. So crack on, as they say. Back through. We'll unlock here and see what else we have ahead of us. Good, I'll be able to test it out here. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Oh, I can slow down as it comes in. That's really cool. Oh, that's awesome. That makes a really nice ability to kind of plan your shot a little bit more. That would have been helpful back there where I was just getting annihilated. So this game's got so much style. I am such a sucker for that. Like, coming into a game like this without a whole lot of expectation. Like, I thought that the game looked cool. I thought it was a neat idea. And just finding yourself enjoying all the little things that they added in, the little touches that go a long way. I am happy to be playing this on my Switch right now. There's a few other games that I'd like to be doing some content videos for, but being on the go has been a big part of my setup, and my time to play games is usually outside of the house, as things around here are a little bit different with a new puppy and just trying to get some stuff done and balance time with friends and work. So having a game on the go, as much as I love Game Pass, I really like having this on my Switch. I think it's a good fit. This was much needed, so we found a healing pond as well. So that was a pretty successful journey off to those side paths there. We got a really cool hammer, and we got that pool. So again, it pays to be curious. So that was a pretty big door. That was 40,000 points. I believe we're getting pretty close to the next stage here of what this looks like. Now, these guys are going to be dangerous. There's some definite dynamite or explosives here. I don't have a whole lot of room to go past. So, as you can see, I got to be really cautious because those things will royally screw you up if allowed. Like that. So far we got about 6,000 points from this room. Let's see what we get from this guy. Another 5k. 14,000 to get through there. And here's your creature. Why do you persist? Why do you think I'm watching? I was born in the black heart of the mountain. I do not sleep. What else you got? You are a lost scrap of rust who is out of their depth. Turn around or I will stop you. Alright, if you say so, pal. So this is that warp gate I was telling you about. 10,000 to unlock. So now, when I undoubtedly die, we have a point. We will come right here. So this next spot here is going to be the actual boss fight of this temple path. This mechanic is so cool. When you walk up here to initiate it, creature grabs you and just takes you down. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 4 or 5 levels maybe to get through to the top. And the creature's going to be throwing those little smaller creatures from the bigger creature, I should say. You want to make sure that you get those out of the way. They will start to creep up on you like so. And as I progress through each one of these areas, you go back up to the top of where you were at to restore power. So this one's a little bit spicier right out the gate than the last one I did. Usually they have to go like 1 or 2 levels before they start to throw a lot of moving pieces at once. But there was a lot going on there. Let's see. Looks like they're going to be doing some similar paths, alternating, making sure that you're moving, not getting too comfortable. But on top of all this, you're going to have those small little artifacts or creatures coming your way. So far, I feel like we're able to get a pretty good handle on it. Don't have a ton of health left. We're going to have to deal with the constant barrage of these turrets coming your way. Now we're starting to ramp it up. We've got a bomb over there. Need to figure out a way to get behind. Looks like we got 1, 2 left, maybe. Alright, I can't take another hit. And we're on the final phase. See what we got going on here. I think so far it's just one of these guys. I don't think it's a timed one. Oh yeah, it is timed. Wonderful. Just gonna have to be very precise on top of all of these. Don't like that. I'm not a sucker for time trials. Oh man. That was not good. So close. So that's pretty much it. That's Creature in the Well. I'm not going to go back in and fight that right now for the sake of time, because God knows how many tries it's going to take me. But this game is really satisfying. It's got a really fun loop, as I mentioned. I love the art style so much. The mechanics are really good. I think it works well. Like, the concept is pretty straightforward. You can see where it gets its inspiration from. You can see where it innovates a bit itself. As I mentioned at the top of this episode, you got this on 3 platforms currently: Steam, Xbox, and Switch. $20 gets you the game. It is on Game Pass if you have that already. I'm playing this on the Switch today. If there's any questions you have about the game or the mechanics or anything further, please write in, let me know, throw a comment on the YouTube link, or you can email me if you'd like to. If you're enjoying what you're seeing here, please let me know. I will make sure to put out some more content. You can find out more about the games I'm up to each week on my podcast called The Casual Hour. I do that with my friends Johnny and Chase. We usually publish on Fridays. We are going to start to do some quick looks as a team as well. I've had Chase on here a few times to do some of these videos. But this is Creature in the Well, Flight School Studio. Very, very cool game. I would highly suggest playing this in 2019. You do not want to sleep on it. I'll probably bring this up come Game of the Year time as well. A lot of fun here. So thank you so much for tuning in. Again, my name is Bobby. I go by Lumberjack Smack. You can find all of my content on lumberjacksmack.com. And I will talk to you all soon.